Hello, second grade. This is Module 7, Lesson 23. Alright, first off, you need these two pieces of paper. Make sure you have a copy of each. The Lesson 23 recording sheets. And make sure you have a pencil and a ruler. Alright, now that you have all your materials, we're going to start gathering and recording some data here. So the first part says write your teacher's handspan measurement. So here's how we're going to measure our handspan. You're going to do it from the tip of your thumb there to the tip of your pinky, and make sure your fingers are nice and spread out there. So I have already measured mine, and I'm going to tell you that mine is 7 inches wide. Now it's wanting you to measure your handspan and record it on this next space. So I'm going to give you a minute. Go ahead and measure your handspan and write it down on your paper. Alright, so now we need to measure the handspans of other people in your group and write them down. Well, we can't do that right now because we are virtual. So I've got some measurements here for you. So we've got Trey. His handspan is 4 inches. Go ahead and write this down as I tell you. Allison, her handspan is 4 inches. We've got Ava, and her handspan is 3 inches. George, his handspan is 6 inches. And Cameron has a handspan of 4 inches. So if you are in a group, go ahead and measure your groups. If you do not have a group, then you can go ahead and use my data that I have here. Go ahead and push pause and then push play when you're ready and you have all this written down. Alright, we have another chart here. We need to do some tallies of our people in our group. So looking back over here, we need 1 for 7 inches because of mine right here. So let's put a tally mark. Then we have Trey's and Allison's were 4 inches. Then Ava's was 3. Then we had George at 6 inches long, and then Cameron had 4 inches. So we've got our tally marks that look like this. We put a tally mark or one line down for each person, and we put it in next to the amount of inches that their handspan was. So looking at this chart, it says what is the most common handspan? So which one has the most tally marks? The 4 inches. Yeah, we have 3 tally marks here. And there's only 1 here. We don't have any for 5 inches. We have 1 for 6, 1 for 7, and none for 8. So the most was 3. Or 4 inches. Now the next question is, what is the least common handspan? So the one with the least amount. Well, if you look, 5 inches and 8 inches, they don't have any tally marks. So let's put 5 and 8 inches as the least amount. Now right here it says, what do you think the most common handspan length will be for the whole class? Explain why you think that. So go ahead and push pause and answer that question on your own. Alright, so on your next page, you needed to go and do your whole class. So if you have a chart and you did this as a whole class, awesome, use that chart. If not, I've got a chart here that we're going to go off of. So, looking at this chart here, we've got some tally marks next to all the ones that we measured. We've got 3 inches, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 inches, just like our other one. But we have a lot more tally marks here because we did a bigger group. Now, let's look and see what handspan length is the most common now. You say 4 inches still? Right. And if you look for the least common now, which one is the least common? Well, we've got 8 inches down here with no tally mark, so we're going to put 8 inches. Now you have one more line down. It says to write a comparison question that can be answered using the data above. So I want you to go ahead and write your own question and then answer it. So, for example, you could write, how many more people have 4-inch handspan than a 6-inch? Or you could write, how many people have 3-inch handspan and a 7-inch handspan? So those are some examples of some comparison questions. So go ahead and write your own and answer it on your own. Alright, we've had some fun doing measurements with our hand and doing some tally marks and charting. Now it's your turn. Do your exit ticket on Seesaw. Turn it in when you're done.